Miracles, maybe.
Sure. Oh,
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to oh, wow, I keep on saying external. Eternal Extravaganza 6. Holy cow. Words are tough right now.
Yeah.
In Baltimore, I'm Joe Marucci, and
He's here.
joined by Ely Cassis, the ever so svelte and model-esque Ely Cassis. So, pretty exciting round two.
Yeah.
We got to see some four-color control, which we did a deck check with before we started the day, as well as Bryant Cook losing to Forrest.
Yeah. I had a talk with Brian after the round just to get kind of his thoughts, and he kind of said that Brainstorm was really awful.
Okay.
So it makes me think that his last Brainstorm, before the one that got pyroblasted, left him kind of like dead in the water. But I thought, too, didn't he leave his Bloodstained Mire out and just not crack it?
Yes, it was sitting there for a while.
So, he probably had an idea of what he wanted in mind. I think he thought that Burning Wish that got Force Dueled was going to resolve.
Sure.
And he had set up some idea of what he was going to do with it. I think he was probably going to do your Empty the Warrens play that you had talked about, and then just use all those petals and Cabal Rituals that he's
Cabal Rituals. Did he tell you
something.
about that at all? Did he explain it? No. Interesting. Okay.
I think he will probably watch the coverage at some point, though,
I'm sure.
And send me a funny message about it or something.
I'm sure. Absolutely. I'm sure it'll be hypercritical no matter what. They'll probably watch this now as well, too, and be like, what do you mean hypercritical?
So I'm excited for round three. What
absolutely.
decks do you think we should try to aim for to get on camera?
I mean, it wouldn't be Legacy coverage without at least seeing one Miracles deck.
Yeah, we will. Sam Rukas, I think, at some point will be on our camera.
The guy is usually pretty good, so
he's
the chances
2-0
are.
right now. He was telling me about a crafty win he just had this past round, too. Yeah.
I mean, I think one of the big things with Miracles is you are just trying to grind small advantages constantly.
It's weird because you go format like Modern and like Snapcaster is hit and miss, and so people are like, oh, it's just a 2/1 on top of whatever spell you're casting. Mm-hmm. So like talking about how it's not like as much value as you want to be doing, and it's not really in the top decks. But in Legacy, you're right, a 2/1 for free on top of replaying a spell. That's sometimes all you need.
Seems pretty good.
Yeah, and Miracles can abuse it so well.
I think one of the things that's crazy too is the amount of times that it either is or should be played as like an ambush viper.
Yeah.
Just like, no, I just need this 2/1, to start a clock or to tick down your Jace or,
And if you play against a deck like Infect and you have that snap swords play, you're just like, all right, I got this.
Yeah, that's obviously where you really want to be,
at
that point there. So, I mean, I'm definitely hoping that we'll see something like that. I'd really like to see some Eldrazi on camera.
Do we want to watch Miracles versus Eldrazi? Or we want to see how
it
gets dismantled?
Yeah, I would love to see it absolutely destroyed by Eldrazi.
That's a good idea. I can get behind this now. We're going to take Miracles. We're going to take the worst matchup for Miracles, and we're just going to watch them go down in a glorious blaze.
I'm good with this.
Actually, everybody watching at home is probably good with this too.
Well, you also have to remember that Eldrazi is part of Team Bad Guy.
Oh.
So, yeah.
So I lose that coin flip?
You lose that one, yeah.
I'll take that loss to the coin flip if we get a Miracles player that plays Ensnaring Bridge in their sideboard.
Ooh.
I know, it sounds odd, but it's your way to beat them.
Yeah, well, I don't think Eldrazi can win at that point.
They can't. And Miracles operates really well with a bridge in play, actually. I put 2 in my sideboard, and I actually thought about going up to 3 for the next Legacy event.
Well, I mean, you're just going to win through Jace at that point, right?
You're going to win through Jace. You're going to win with Mentor, just making a swarm of 1/1s.
1/1s that you turn into 2/2s after they swing.
You can turn them into 2/2s when you draw. And the cool thing about Top is not only can you replay it to prowess them, but you can draw it to have more cards in your hand so you can attack, and then play them post-combat to go back down below bridge. So it kind of is really fluid for the deck. Plus, the deck wants more 3-drops. And you get to slowly cut away from some of those terminuses that people are used to playing around and then lock them out with more lock pieces.
Yeah, I think that's kind of, the 3-drop spot has been kind of a weird spot where Miracles is always kind of, well, not even Miracles, but like Counterbalance in general. Yeah. Counterbalance decks in general have never really had enough 3-drops. Because there are very good Legacy 3-drops.
Right, which is why we played things like Click and Council's Judgment in the main.
Council's Judgment, which was one that I saw people playing out there today that I hadn't seen in a while. You know, I don't know. At least in the Miracles list that I was playing, I haven't had it in there for a while.
I think it's been popularized for about a year and a half now, and it's varied between 1 to 2 slots in the main, and then sometimes 1 in the board. But most people are on that barely red splash where they're bringing in wear tears for the extra answers that provides. I really like that it hits a true name nemesis, or effectively gets rid of a Leovold.
Sure.
Without losing that trigger ability.
Yeah,
not targeting.
And the funny thing is, I know Joe Stempo had it in his list. We haven't talked a whole lot about Leovold.
Yeah.
That card is kind of format changing in a way.
I want to see a Leovold come about. That's something I'd love to see on camera, just to see how painful it is to play around. And just how damaging it is, because you don't get to see that from the control side of it. Right. You only get to know that from suffering from it. So if we could see it from both sides, we can really see the impact of it.
I mean, anytime you've cast a Brainstorm into a Leovold, it's pretty like, oh, yeah, that guy.
To me, it reminds me of Chains of Mephistopheles. People had it out all the time, and you just didn't know how good it was because they never cast their Brainstorms. You didn't know if they were holding it or what was in their hand.
Yeah, I think the thing with Leovold, I was actually talking to somebody last night for a little bit, and you know, they're like, yeah, most people just go like, all right, you have some 2/2 elf, and they're like, all right, Brainstorm, like, no, not so much.
It's a 3/3 too.
Or 3/3, sorry. Yeah, well, I actually already had an engineer play getting play. I don't like, you know.
I mean, I just think it's great too because it is an elf, so you can use your insect bounce guy.
The Wirewood Symbiote?
Wirewood Symbiote, yeah, to protect it. So they target it, you draw the card, and then after that draw ability resolves, you can then bounce it to counter the removal spell, and then replay it. And elves.
And the target also, so the target draws you the card. Yeah, there's a lot of things that go on.
And with elves, you're ramping that guy out on turn 2 all the time. I mean, I think that elves should be really abusing Leovold now, and I'm not sure that they have been.
No.
I think they're too focused on being a combo deck, wanting to glimpse and just kind of like go off. When I think the better lists are probably these newer age lists that don't need to glimpse. They can natural order still, so they still have part combo, but they function more as like a consistent, aggressive curve of a deck too.
Sure. Yeah, it's, I mean, you could still Crater Hoof somebody, right?
Yeah.
It's still pretty good.
I was playing Delver one time, and I remembered my Elves opponent had mulligans. I had in my hand Flusterstorm, Force of Will, like Lightning Bolt, Snapcaster Mage, probably like a Delver and a land. And I'm like, yeah, this hand's great against this situation, and he's mulligans. My opponent went turn 1 Nettlestone, and I'm like, all right, that's no big deal. I'm like, land, Delver, go. And the next turn they went like Heritage, Cradle, and played their entire hand, and had like 10 attack power on the table. And I lost just from the attack strategy.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's something that you can't really discount with that deck.
Yeah.
It can just literally just turn them sideways.
And I think even, too, when you feel like you have your Grafdigger's Cage on the table and you have permanent threats, maybe like a Grim Lavamancer, you just feel like you're at easy street against them. But it's just like one Reclamation Sage off the top away from killing your cage, combo killing you right off the bat.
Well, I think the easy street you're talking about is actually Negan about to smash somebody's brain in from The Walking Dead. That's that song that they played, Easy Street.
Yeah. I do like The Walking Dead. It's a great show.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it fell off a little bit in the last like year and a half for me, but
yeah. While we're waiting for round 3 to start, maybe we should talk about our sponsors a little bit and some of the programs that people are doing that we think are great to get out there so people can advertise for.
Absolutely, 100%. So one of the things we definitely should be mentioning is the Satellite Series.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm doing it again. Eternal Extravaganza. I just want XX. I don't know why. Eternal Extravaganza Satellite Series. It's a way that you can gain points without having to come out to one of these events necessarily, but certainly it also is a great way to earn buys and things like that to get to this event and maybe not even have to play round 1.
The nice thing, too, is a lot of people are posting online that they want to see more Eternal. They don't want to play Saheeli or Mardu vehicles every single round. So do that by going out and supporting Eternal events that are being hosted. Tales of Adventure, Michael Caffrey, he's hosting a great series. The EV on these things, the estimated value is through the roof. There's only a couple hundred people here for a $20,000 tournament. It's the size of one of the bigger opens and prizes, but it has the attendance of less than, I think, any open that's happened in the last 10 years.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty low number for attendees with a ton of payout.
So you really can't beat it. And the argument I hear is that people are like, well, Legacy's too expensive to get into. And yes, it does have a high threshold for entry, but once you're in, you don't have to update your deck every 2 years like you do with Standard.
Or every 2 months when something else, rotates in or rotates out.
Right. So in the long run, you will save money,
Yes.
I promise you, even though it does not seem like it, because the expensive cards are so expensive.
I'll go so far as to say it's one of the few sort of formats where you can show up and, I know people here in this room from, very far away that came up to this event. And if they ask me, hey, can I borrow XYZ deck, or if I ask them the same thing, chances are I could probably source something very competitive very easily because it's a fantastic community.
Definitely it is. I have an extra Grixis Delver deck I built just in case somebody needed to borrow one for this event. And nobody even needed it. Everybody was
cool.
Just
so what are you lending me for tomorrow for vintage?
Yeah. You could probably audible it pretty easy. You just added some power.
There you go. That's it. That's all you need, a little extra power. But no, I mean, I think it's a fantastic way to, to get involved. It's a great community.
It is.
I've been away from the game for a couple of years at this point. Lucky enough to come back, get to do some commentary, get to play some vintage tomorrow. There's still a lot of familiar faces in this room.
There is. And then we have great sponsors that appreciate what we're trying to do, and they want to support it too.
Yeah.
So we have places like Dex Protection.
Yes.
They're our sponsors. They're really helping out with this event, and we hope that you guys utilize them too, because it's such a great thing to give back. There's organizations like Team NFG Bot, and they're doing a 24-hour live stream on March 24th, and they're supporting St. Jude's, which, if people don't know what they do, they literally try to save kids that are suffering from cancer. They're a group that's dedicated to finding cures, treating illnesses, all in children, which, who can't support a cause like that?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to argue against, saving kids from cancer.
Right, exactly.
I'm actually pro-cancer. It's not something you hear very often.
They're actually supporting it in a nice way, too, because they're incentivizing people who wouldn't naturally just give. So they're throwing in a Time Walk and I think a Mox Ruby randomly given away to people on their stream for this.
Nice.
Just to encourage people to go on, encourage people to donate, encourage people to help save kids from cancer, like you were saying.
It's pretty fantastic, and you can get some power.
And you can get some power out of it.
And power has not gone down in price any time that I can remember.
Right. All right, so it looks like we have our next feature match.
All right.
It's Joe Stempo again versus
Oh, wow, okay.
Joe Brennan. All right.
So we have Leovold versus Leovold.
Yeah, this will be interesting. I talked to Joe last week at GP New Jersey about his list. He told me a lot of interesting things. Does he still have the Divert in his list?
Divert, yep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He's in love with a one of Divert, and he's playing a Misdirection.
Nice.
So it's
you can divert and misdirect things.
Yeah, this was the tack when Delver was at its height. Everybody was like, how do we trump the mirror match? It was Divert. You bolt my guy, now you bolted your own guy.
Right.
And then, woo, I win.
Yeah.
So he's really in on that. But it's so weird to me because we see Delver on a decline, and we've seen that for a while now.
Right.
And he's running main deck two things that trump the mirror.
Now, he also actually is running Delvers.
Right. He's actually the aggressive list. So Joe Brennan is number one in our EE points race, by the way, by a large margin.
Yes.
I hear he has 500 points or something like that.
That's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, he was on Flash.
Yes.
In the auction of the people that was last night.
Yes, he was.
I was watching some of that. It was pretty great to see Flash. Obviously, it's not legal in Legacy anymore. I played that GP. It was pretty miserable. Miserable because I wasn't playing Flash.
In case the people at home don't know what the auction of the people is, do you want to explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, so it was actually something really cool for me, and I'll go and I'll tout myself a little bit. I did help pick out the decks for that. So it was basically, it was different eras of Legacy decks, all the way back to the first Legacy Grand Prix in Philadelphia, where the Goblins won. Steve Saden's Flash Hulk list. We had the No Force Bant from James Rankowitz.
Yeah.
There was a Reanimator list. A lot of, basically staples of the format, but it was the deck as it was then. So if Mystical Tutor was legal, there was Mystical Tutor.
And sometimes 4 Mystical Tutors.
4.
And these are all GP winning decks, right?
Right. Everyone had won a GP. Fantastic way to kind of have some fun. And basically what they would do is you could auction, the decks were all auctioned off, and you could either bid life total or you could bid
Hand
number of
sets.
cards. Right. So Joe, I believe, was starting with 5 cards in the Flash Hulk deck.
Ooh, that's a high bid.
Yeah, it is a high bid.
A double mull.
Yes, double mulligan every single time.
Wow.
I mean, but it is a deck that could win with 3 cards. So, I mean...
Yeah, maybe that's worth it. I think that's like right on the line. I played during the Flash Hulk Season 2, of course.
Yeah.
And
Were you on Flash Hulk?
oh, yeah. The whole GP was. It was
I was on
ridiculous.
Solidarity. Not so good.
I actually don't know how that GP occurred, and the price of Flash didn't jump over $5.
Right, well, because there was a ton of it, and like the demand wasn't super high. If you were at it, I was at it. I think attendance was around like 1,200, so it wasn't.
Was it that low?
Yeah, it was not very high.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people were also discouraged by Flash Hulk.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, oh, I really wanted to play this. I mean, that was back while Legacy was still, I would say, more fringe. You know, there was less internet articles, there was less deck lists.
But a rare out of Mirage, I would just assume.
Yeah.
And plus, it's an automatic.
Yeah, but it was a
over those
reprint, though,
decks.
too. It was in, like, 6th edition.
Okay, yeah, there was.
There was a
Sixth
white
edition
border.
was very small allotment.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't print a lot of it. And I think
And
most people
I think
were.
everybody also knew that it was going to get insta-banned.
Yeah, I think that's what kept the price in check. Was people were pretty sure this was the last GP they were going to get to use.
Yeah,
the
well,
deck.
because if you remember, that was when they did away with the power level erratas.
Right.
They're like, okay, well, this card doesn't function as it was supposed to function. So we'll make it so we'll unerrata it so it works as it was supposed to work. And it wasn't, when it was power level errata, nobody would play it because it was terrible. And then as soon as they power level errated it, I'm like, oh, well, that card's broken.
It's nice when Eternal formats get paid attention to by the core company, and they make these nice changes in favor of what the players are looking to see.
Well, I think the banned and restricted list, you know, for a long time has, you know, it's dictated the format. It really has. You know,
Really, yeah.
the misstep era, you know, that was a big thing. I mean, I was still on Painter Servant Grindstone. That was not a fun era for me. Like when you're playing a deck full of like 1-drops and really only wins by 1-drops.
Sure.
And anybody can counter it for 2 life.
So I know
so fun.
everybody knows what Joe Stempo's list is
Right.
like, but let's talk about Joe Brennan's for a second,
Sure.
so they have the whole picture.
So he is a little bit more traditional, quote unquote, but
Yeah.
with some different stuff in there. We do see a fatal push.
And by traditional, we mean aggressive.
Yeah,
so
still having Delvers
and
in the
Gurmag
Delver.
anglers,
Yes.
which are
2.
really good. They're hard to kill. No
Yes.
lightning bolting, no fatal pushing them. I think that's why Joe is playing a murderous cut.
Mm-hmm.
And he's playing a murderous cut too. Joe is. Both Joes.
Both Joes. Both Joes.
We're going to have a Joe on Joe matchup.
Joe and Joe, and
Which
yeah, we have.
G.I. Joe are you rooting for?
Well, I don't know which one's the bad guy here. I don't know. I think
That's what we have to question.
I think Joe's still the good guy because he's trying to do noble things, and I think
Stempo?
Yeah, I think Stempo still is because I think Joe Brennan here is really trying to be a little bit more aggressive.
So having played a whole lot of Delver mirrors, I find that the aggressor is the one that tends to win. So my money's on Brennan.
Well, my money's there too.
So we're agreeing.
So you're on team
no.
bad guy for this round?
Yeah. I'm jumping over to your side.
Nice.
I hate to leave my man Joe. I mean, he got the first round.
He did
for
get
me.
there.
He made us 1-0 in Team Good Guys. Favor.
Yeah, but so you're cheating a little bit here, Ely. I'm just saying. Another cool thing too: a Notion Thief and a Royal Assassin.
Yeah, so I talked to him about this. He seems to think that Eldrazi just folds to it, and it's his tech for it. And I told him, do you know what Walking Ballista does? Do you know what Warping Whale does? And do you know even that their 6-drop 5/5 taps to deal a damage? And he's just like, nah, they don't play those cards. And I was like, they definitely play those cards.
No, I definitely do. I definitely have them in my list.
So I tried to talk him out of it last week at GP New Jersey. Didn't listen. It's still in. It won't come up and play in this matchup, but it'll be interesting to see how many times he finds it effective in the course of the tournament.
I don't know. I think we should go over there real quick and just encourage him to get Royal Assassin on Legacy coverage.
Well, you know what the real reason he's playing it is because he's got like a nice alpha one.
Gotcha.
So, you know,
That seems
players
like a
and their
reason.
pet cards and things like that. Actually, a good friend of mine, his name's Adam Phillips out of Syracuse, has a Royal Assassin tattoo.
Wow.
And he used to collect them. He used to have like a binder full of them.
Yeah, people collect some interesting cards. Hollywood, haven't talked about Hollywood. He was collecting All Hallows Eve.
Yeah. And the price went up. That was good for him.
There you go. Absolutely, 100%.
There's Grizzly Bear collectors.
Yes.
There are Angel collectors. What other strange ones are there out there?
The one with nothing. One with nothing. Yeah, a lot of people collected those, believe it or not.
French delays.
Look that one up, folks. We're not saying it.
We can't say it on camera.
Look it up. I mean, we could, but you know.
You could just Google search what is delay in French too, I guess.
Yes, it will come up. It wasn't even so much the word; it is the picture that goes along with that. It makes it that much worse.
It's funny because Magic players have this mentality of like toilet humor.
Yes.
You know, poop and fart jokes are just gonna make us all giggle like schoolgirls.
Or like the guy who took pictures of people's butt cracks.
Oh man, I forgot about that. It's been a while since that happened. He got a ban for that.
For like 3 years or so. He's allowed back in now. Yeah.
I wonder if he is going to reapproach the game. I always wonder how people who have these long bans reemerge into the scene.
Yeah, I mean, like Alex came back from his first.
But then got banned again.
Then got banned again, almost like months later.
I think his ban is up next year.
You know what? I don't have a problem with him, and I know right now if we were looking at probably what the commentary is on Alex on the Twitch chat, it probably wouldn't be too favorable. I never had a problem with him. He played fast. He played a bit sloppy. You can call it what you want to call it. I'm not going to argue for or against the guy, but I think he was a pretty decent guy, and I never experienced any problems with him.
I tend to be more forgiving the most, and I take into account a large amount the fact that he's just a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's still just a kid.
He's pretty young yet, yeah.
He got treated pretty harshly after everything that happened, and I think for something that a lot of kids have done. So I would forgive him too. I'd welcome him back, but I'd hope that obviously that
I think the thing that
continue.
People don't give him credit for, he was a good player. On top of that, like regardless of like, you know, the guy played a ton of matches on camera.
I actually attributed his play style to like Spider-Man. He would talk and play fast. And
yes, fast and loose and sloppy.
Yeah, he'd have this ability to make it all come together that way. But here we go.
So we have Joe Brennan and Joseph Stempo. And again, Joe Brennan, #1 in EE points right now. So that is a great thing to point out as well too.
Do we have a mulligan from Joe here? His hand looks small.
Counting out there, maybe 6.
Is that what that 1 is next to his name? Maybe that's a mulligan counter?
Oh, for Joe Brennan? No, I think it's because he's #1 in EE points.
Oh, gotcha. That's the point race total. Gotcha.
Yep.
But Joe won an EE qualifier. I'm surprised he's not on the list.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, so we see a Ponder. Was that an Expedition foil into a Ponder?
Probably, but you can never tell with Expeditions.
Yeah.
I know that's an Expedition Delta in the front of his hand.
Okay. So, you know, another thing about Legacy that, and all Eternal formats, is people love those foils and foreign cards and, you know, all that stuff.
So Joe has 7 cards. I did a quick count when he folded them out. He's being very deliberate with his actions. So, like, he's not taking up a lot of time to do them, but it's checking. Like, he untapped and he said go to draw without a Delver out or anything.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that I was impressed upon my son when I was trying to teach him how to play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Untap, upkeep,
meticulous
draw.
nature of things.
Yep.
I think some things can be shortcutted. I wouldn't necessarily announce my draw step on turn 2.
Right.
You know, my opponent's had 1 turn and played a Tarn, but I guess I can understand a little bit.
You might get
why.
Vidillion clicked. I don't like, you know. It's Simian Spirit Guide, Manamorphose, tap my Tarn.
Extraction, your Ponder.
Ah,
Gotcha.
boo. So Brennan here now on 3 of his colors, and now we have the Delver.
And Joe now has the option of Baleful Strix, and he can play around days if he likes to, but I usually like it when they daze it because then you can progress more. His other option is just to Abrupt Decay and not take the damage, for sure deal with the Delver and buy himself a lot of time.
Sure.
Because as the game goes long, I think Joe wins.
Which Joe?
It's Stempo.
Okay.
Good point. They're both Joe. Brennan, I think, shuffled away 2 Wastelands with his Brainstorm, and I think he's going to find that to cost him because Stempo doesn't have basics.
Right.
And those Wastelands are really going to keep the game looking like the beginning of a game and in his favor. Plus, he can choke off a specific color because this is 4 colors with no basic.
Right.
So if he wanted to, he could be like Volcanic, 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 and then there's no red for Joe for the rest of the game. And There's a Badlands in there too, I'm sure, but
Yeah,
I don't even
there
know.
was.
Did we have 3 Volcanics? No, only 2 Volcanics
And
and 1
Badlands.
Badlands. So 3 Wastelands could choke red from the game and then actually shift it back into Brennan's favor.
All right, so we saw a Ponder revealed and then an Abrupt Decay immediately on it.
Yep. So he went with the option of not losing to a quick clock.
Sure.
Let's see.
Well, I think
follows that
Stempo
up.
has to stay, trying to reduce the amount of clock that Brennan puts on.
Certainly.
But I think Joe Brennan's late game isn't bad though either, especially with a Gurmag angler. He has a Vendilion click in hand already, so he is going to be able to get active through the air.
Are we going to see a Leovold here though?
Ooh.
I think that's what I'd like to see here.
Yes.
Especially knowing that Stempo isn't playing Days. Oh, here it goes.
Yep.
Ooh.
There he is.
Do we have a Force of Will? No Force of
No.
Will. Okay.
Ruh-roh.
So this is trouble time. Oh, but there's another Leovold in Stempo's hand.
So the Leovold on
On
Leovold
Leovold,
action.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which is actually an interesting interaction. Not a lot of people have played with that out. Because you can play something on your turn, and it affects differently versus their turn. You actually have to pay attention to when cards are drawn. So, for instance, if you pass the turn, they draw, and then you say Murderers cut their Leovold, they go trigger, and they might try to draw, but you're like, nope, my Leovold stops
Says
your
you,
Leovold.
right.
Yeah.
Well, that seems terrible. Can somebody please cast a Supreme Verdict right away?
No white from either of these players. This will be interesting.
That would be the one color Joe Stempo decided not to play.
I wonder if EE is good here or not. Like, you probably boarded in anyway, but I wonder if it's something like we're paying 3 to cast and then 2 to activate to deal with a Leovold.
It's really slow, though.
Yeah, it is.
Against the aggressive deck. You know?
Very. Yeah.
So what do you think Joe's debating here? His own Leovold?
Yeah, I think it's his own Leovold versus do I go with another line? Do I try to kill his Leovold? He used the Abrupt Decay, so now he doesn't have like a foolproof way of killing it. I think he's going to Baleful Strix, just draw and pass the turn and just try to like...
Baleful Strix want to draw.
Right, not to draw.
Not to draw.
Not to draw. Good point.
Yeah, it goes down in quality a whole lot against Leovold.
A whole lot. Yeah. So the other cool thing is Brennan can click him on his turn now and not allow him to draw again.
Oh, that's so dirty.
It's just a straight Thoughtseize.
That is just...
You can tell Brennan loves this idea because he even has a Notion Thief in his side. He's doubling down on the plan.
He is.
I wonder why it's just not a third Leovold, though. Why vary it up with Notion Thief?
Well, I don't know. I mean, Jeff Foster is here. He's actually helping us with coverage, so it could just be for that moment that he gets to do the Notion Thief moment, and Jeff can reenact his part.
And then it'll be like a Brazilian soccer match after a goal.
Goal!
Yeah.
All right, stop that.
You're right. So he's setting up for the click. He's playing the Angler on 1.
Nice.
See, this is why a lot of players have started putting their lands sideways across, because now it looks like there's 3 mana and we're going to do something. So your opponent could conceivably play around it.
Gotcha.
So lands being put sideways now across your left to right across your lap is now better.
And there we go. We have the click. It's the instant speed 3/1 Thoughtseize.
This is going to resolve. There's no answer in Stempo's hand. It's
Team Bad Guy's taking this one.
Yeah. We voted for Team Bad Guy, and I think we were spot on.
Yeah.
I think Stempo should have played his Leovold on the last turn.
Yeah.
I think I would have liked to see that play the most.
He's just way behind right now.
Way behind, yeah. Oh, so we're Snapcastering for Abrupt Decay. Okay.
But we don't. Okay.
We're
he
keeping
can target
a
it.
trigger
Right.
and playing a land, yeah. I think, what do you think he's gonna kill the Leovold, give Brennan card advantage.
Correct.
And then be tapped out, and then Joe will get to untap and take his turn.
Yeah, I still don't like Stempo's spot here.
Yeah.
I don't think Stempo likes it either because he's resting on his elbow there and peering down.
Probably thinking he's got a lot to climb back into.
Yeah. And now, what's the way that you can climb back into this from Stempo's spot?
Abrupt Decay, kill Leovold, and then hope that Brennan can't take too fast of an aggression line by not killing his Strix.
Sure.
And then taking your turn, Jace unsummoning the Gurmag Angler and hoping to deal with the click with your Strix.
Yeah, I would definitely say it definitely involves Jace.
Yeah.
But Brennan deciding to, no draw.
I think Brennan still had to take Leovold just because of how many cards he could draw and conceivably would be dead if Stempo played Leovold.
Sure.
So Brennan probably wants to think that Brainstorm and Ponder are all going to be safe draws.
Right.
Traditionally,
Oh,
oof,
we just saw the blow up.
yep,
Misdirection.
misdirection. There it is.
I would instead like to kill your Baleful Strix.
Yeah, and if Stempo just conceded here, I wouldn't even blame him.
I would not either.
Yeah.
I think, though, being on the camera will probably make him want to play it out a little bit further.
I probably wouldn't waste too much more time shuffling, though.
No, but, Eternal players also love shuffling.
Yeah, maybe he's using this time to think, I think, which is good at least.
Yes.
But it's not like as if there's a response. We know all the variables.
Right.
So, and that misdirection was brutal.
It was crushing. That had to be soul crushing.
Yeah. That just is going to validate Brennan's card selection choice for the rest of the time.
Absolutely. 100%. Now, if we can only see a Royal Assassin blowout of some sort.
What's next? Earthquake is going to make a reemergence?
Yes, absolutely. What's the horsemanship?
Yeah.
Kills everything except for things with
Rolling thunder.
Yeah.
Rolling
earthquake, maybe?
Maybe
Yeah.
something like that.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Rolling earthquake,
rolling
yeah.
earthquake.
We are getting confirmation. It is in fact rolling earthquake. That or we could ride the Dulu horse.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was a white creature that tapped to destroy a creature with power 4 or greater. It's a white and 2 for a 1/1. And for the longest time, it was really good in Modern against Eldrazi type of decks.
Sure.
It even came in against, I think, some of like the Emrakul Gristlebrand strategies. But it's not good in this format, and it's not good now that Walking Ballista is a card.
Walking Ballista is one heck of a card.
So there's just no reason to be on Royal Assassin.
No.
And the funny thing is, Royal Assassin is tapped to kill a tapped creature. So even with Eldrazi, you can just slow roll your attack until you get enough to go around it.
Right.
And then it taps to kill one guy. And then you're kind of like free to keep crashing in.
Keep killing.
Yeah.
All right, so we see Joe Stempo here with a Jace.
He's unsummoning.
Unsummon.
The trigger's happening.
I get a card. I'm going
Yeah.
to shuffle. I'm
This
not
is
going to shuffle.
I think he's saying the activation afterwards? Nope, I guess he's just indicating his fetch and not doing anything.
Okay. Yeah, I thought he was going to shuffle beforehand there.
Yeah.
But he has something reminding him. I guess he's reminding himself to fetch before end of turn.
Well, usually that's so that you don't draw the card that you know is on top, but then he drew anyway.
Oh,
So
okay.
Maybe something about the line that Stempo took changed what Brennan wanted to do.
Sure, could be.
Yeah. This just does not look good for Stempo.
No.
Yeah. I usually like saving time when I'm in a position like this and just putting the win away fast.
Sure.
Draws, especially in the early rounds of tournaments, not good.
Yeah, I don't think we have a worry about a draw though in this Sultai versus 4-color though.
It depends on how Cyborg games go. I've seen these attrition battles be this top deck land go type situation where you also want to bluff what you draw.
Well, so knowing that, Brennan might actually board in Royal Assassin.
You really want to see that?
I really want to see it. I really want to see it. Be like, yes, maybe he'll board in Hypnotic Spectre. I don't know, just something along those lines.
That would be some spice. And then you play against Brian Cook.
Oh.
Dark Ritual Hippie.
Go.
All right, he's sequencing his attacks right. Click to come at Jace, other 2 creatures to come at Stempo.
Yep.
He probably has enough graveyard to easily put out the Angler. I don't think there's any line that brings Stempo back in this game anymore.
No.
Maybe Baleful Strix, but no, you can't, because you can't sequence Baleful Strix with the Leovold out.
Right.
So it's good night.
The other thing too for Stempo should be, do I really need to show Brennan that much more of my deck list?
Yeah.
I don't know if these two know each other and he knows what Joe's on. I'm going to assume no because of shuffling away those wastelands.
Oh, so he shuffled away the Angler with the Brainstorm that he flashed back with Snapcaster.
Okay.
So it looks like he's got Force in his hand.
Interesting. Well, we already know that this is well over anyway.
Yeah.
Joe Brennan just making sure it's 110% over. Okay. All right, so we're going to be going on.
10%.
Yeah, all of these things. That one could have been certainly one of those moments where he flipped over the 2 Force Wills in his hand. Like, do you really need to go on?
Yeah. All right, let's look at sideboards. So we've already been over Stempos, but let's go over it again so that they know. 'Cause, not everybody can memorize a whole sideboard.
Well, it's obviously going to be very different this time around.
Right, the card selection that we're going to be choosing is going to be different. So we have 3 Diabolic Edicts. These are coming in, right?
I would say so.
Yeah,
I would be bringing them in.
Unfortunately, these still target a player, so Leovold is still going to draw off them. But they can take out a Gurmag Angler, and Sultai Delver is not making extra tokens with anything like a Young Pyromancer.
Well,
so.
and I think usually one of the big things with these Sultai decks is they're making one threat and trying to ride it for a long period of time.
Yes.
So if you can answer it right away, I think you're in a good spot.
Now here's the funny thing. Pyroblast is coming in, but so is Red Elemental Blast. And because Brennan is playing Misdirection and Divert, Red Elemental Blast is better.
Yes.
He can't redirect it unless there's an
Another
actual
blue target. Yes.
So if a card's on the table and he Red Elemental Blast, there's no misdirecting it to, say, a Deathray Shaman.
But he could, I believe, actually still misdirect or move it to a blue spell, even if a blue creature was.
Are you sure about that?
I don't know. I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah?
No.
I think maybe not.
It would still be a legal target for it, though.
I guess it would depend on how the way it's worded in the fact. Anyway, let's move on before we lose too much
corner
time.
case scenarios.
Yeah, so, all right, so he's bringing in Diabolic Edicts. He's bringing in 2 Pyroblasts.
No, can't
he's
do
bringing
it.
in
Okay.
2 Fatal Pushes. He's probably bringing in Click. He's bringing in the Red Elemental Blast. He might be bringing in EE. He might be bringing in Marsh Casualties because he doesn't know about true names. And he might bring in Liliana the Last Hope. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12 cards that he could board in for this match.
I don't think he's bringing in 12.
Yeah, that's too many. How do you find room?
It's
for
not even a
12
deck
cards?
at that point.
Exactly. But let's look at what he might take out.
Sure.
So Leovold, obviously very good.
Yeah.
But Painful Truce, maybe too slow against aggro. But also
I could
maybe
see
good.
I could see taking it out.
I think he's going to think about that. Thoughtseize. I think I'd like to see him cut Thoughtseize.
Okay.
You don't want to attack the hand and the board. You want to really choose one or the other. And Kolaghan's Command is also another high casting cost thing that doesn't deal with a lot of threats that Brendan is going to bring. So I think you want to trim those 3s and make your deck more smooth around the 1s and the 2s.
Do you keep in Spell Snare?
Spell Snare, I want to say no.
I mean, it's good against a Snapcaster Mage, but...
yeah, but you don't know that multiple Snapcasters are coming. You haven't seen Tarmogoyf, and Dark Confidant's not really a thing anymore. You already have decent answers for both those things that you're bringing in. So I think Spell Snare would be another easy
one
trim.
you can take out.
Yeah.
How about the counter spells?
Yeah, again, I'd like to see him cut those, but I think that's one of those intuitive
Would you rather
things.
cut those or the Force Will? Maybe like 1 or 2 forces.
Both, honestly.
Okay.
And I think we're getting towards that 8 or 9 range of things that we can cut. So we can bring in most of the cards that we talked about in the sideboard. I might leave in 2 Force of Wills now that Leovold is a thing. It changes a little bit about how you want to board out. But the worst thing ever is if they play Leovold, you try to force it, and then they Pyroblast it. You're just like, yeah.
Yeah, no bueno.
How about that next round? So what's Brandon's sideboarding?
All right, so got 2 Surgicals. I don't think we're going to see those.
No.
2 Fluster Storms. Don't believe we're seeing those. I don't know. I think we could see the Notion Thief.
I think so too. I think he's going to try to catch him with it.
Yep. And I'm hoping. I've been hoping for the Royal Assassin since I saw it, but I'm going to say it's probably not. He does have 2 Baleful Strixes in the board. Do you like those here?
No.
No? Okay.
No. Yeah, if we knew that Stempo had Gurmags, maybe.
Sure.
But still, even then, it's a maybe.
Okay.
I don't love him in this matchup. I'd rather be the aggressive deck and not try to meet Stempo in the middle of the road and play a mid-range. And looking at this list, I hope he boards in like 2 cards.
Okay.
I'm thinking Notion Thief and maybe 1 Flusterstorm.
Really, just to win the counter war?
Just 1, just to trump, because the same way he caught him with a misdirection, a lot of times in a Delver Mirror, they'll go for a bolt, and then you'll go for a clutch spell in response. They'll be like, okay, I have to counter that, and then you'll Flusterstorm and get 2 cards. And that's just as good as that misdirection you saw in Game 1.
So just a piece of insight, I mean, usually we would want Pithy Needle. I'm guessing those are mainly there for the Miracles matchup.
Yeah, Miracles and Sneak and Show. You want to shut down Sneak Attack and various other things too. You might want them in Enchantress matchups.
Yeah, certainly.
Something.
I hope we see an Enchantress matchup. I really do.
I would love an Enchantress to be undefeated or X1 so that we could rationally put them on camera.
Like a game after game after game after game. All right, nice.
And not have it be like, all right, what are you guys doing over there?
You just want to see Elephant Grass cast.
I so much do. I love that Carpet of Flowers is like a $10 card now.
That's something, right?
Yeah, people are finally realizing the power of it. I've been playing it forever. It's in my EDH deck.
Okay.
And there's no sideboard games in EDH.
No,
so
none whatsoever.
I'm just counting on it being that powerful.
Well, there's usually islands, you know.
Yeah, Yeah, most people are on blue.
Yeah.
And you play a multiplayer game, somebody's on blue.
Somebody's on blue, guaranteed. Yeah.
And I've had games where it's like add 5, and it's just ridiculous. Any color I want.
Nice. All right, so Stempo starts off with a ponder and then immediately goes to shuffle. What do you think he's looking to find here off of this ponder?
The fact that it's a shuffle probably means it's a land.
Okay.
He might be keeping a land light hand. This is frequently what I do in Legacy.
It looked like it. If I'm not mistaken, it looked like it was lands.
Yeah.
So he might be land heavy.
So he's land heavy
spells.
and needs spells. Okay.
I don't know. I could be wrong though.
It's usually one or the other if a ponder is shuffling.
But there's no specific card you think he's like, I really want this one.
I don't know that there's any card in the list. Delver matchups are always grindy.
Sure.
It's not like, I drew my worship and that's game.
Worship. Oh my gosh. You're really pulling back there, Ely. I'm just saying.
I'm dating myself.
Yes. All right, so we see Joe Brennan getting off to exactly the start that he wants.
See, Stempo's hand does look land light.
Okay, so maybe I was in fact incorrect on seeing that there.
We'll find out very fast, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, we'll find out for sure.
He probably has a lot of answers to kill the Delvers. And one of the things I used to do on Brennan's side of the table in these kinds of matchups is I would board out the Delvers in favor of the card advantage creatures.
Okay.
That sort of thing.
So we're seeing a very aggressive brainstorm.
Yeah.
He did find land, so if it's land that he's after, he got it.
But I wouldn't do that here because he didn't have enough of that in this sideboard to really commit to that plan. Joe's plan is really to catch somebody off guard with misdirection, divert, or notion thief.
Yeah. He's definitely he's here this weekend looking for some blowouts.
Yeah. And to him, that's the package.
The package, nice. Here, ladies, I'd like to show you my package. Is a phrase that he might, in fact, say this weekend. Is that what you're going at?
Ah, that's an extreme saying.
All right, so Joe puts back his cards, or Stempo, I should say, and he still has to untap and draw for his turn.
No, that was main phase, so he's going to play a Death right now.
Oh, okay, I thought he was at end of turn there. Sorry about that.
I hope he's playing Death right.
Certainly.
You don't play around days in these matchups very well, like unless you really can, and that's just not a thing. He's considering Thoughtseize. I really hope he goes Death right, because there's not a turn 2 threat that's going to put you away.
Right.
But Leovold on 3 or True Name
could be very bad.
That's big, yeah. So Death right should be the play here. Yeah.
Yes,
all right. He's teasing us.
Yes.
He's like, I want good guys. I want good guys.
He wants good guys to win.
No, bad guys are winning.
And Brennan has the package, so
yes.
Stempo's teasing us, and Brennan has the package.
Thoughtseize can get diverted. I really hope Stempo plays his land first.
Oh.
We saw that happen against him.
And divert, you can pay 2 to have the effect not happen.
Fizzle, yes. So if he plays his land first, he can safely play the Thoughtseize. If not, we're going to see a Thoughtseize diverted, which could be pretty good.
Yeah. But does he pick himself?
Yes, he does pick himself, but he has to choose a card.
He has to pick a legal target.
That's the ruling on that one.
And he still gets to lose the 2 life, which is amazing. It seems like an absolute bargain.
You can have it all.
He can have every last piece of that one.
Who knows? Maybe he's playing a Death Shadow. Wait, we know.
No, he's not.
No Death Shadow.
Although I'd love to see it.
Yeah. I'd actually like to see a Legacy Death Shadow list be brewed. I mean, it's got to be a lot of potential there to deal yourself damage.
Yeah, but I think there's just so much potential to just boop, gone.
And it's like Devour Flesh in Modern, too. The gain life kills both Death Shadows.
Right.
Yeah, there's just no coming back from that. And with Miracles being the #1 deck, all right, scratch that idea.
Yeah, maybe not so much.
Maybe if we can ban Swords to Plowshares, then we can talk.
There you go. I don't think that one's on the ban and restricted list. So now we're seeing
the land, but he's got Death Right active. So
right. So here it is.
Okay.
Let's see if he sees it.
Misdirection.
Yep. Oh no, it's not a divert.
Yeah. So Misdirection is going to get red Elemental Blasted or Pyroblasted.
And at that point, though, the divert's active.
Yes. And then we're in trouble again.
Right.
And no divert. All right. This is happening. He did bring in the Royal Assassin.
Yes!
We have takeoff.
Oh, so great.
Oh, I'm sure Leovold is getting taken.
Yeah.
And Stembo is reminding himself what Royal Assassin
Absolutely.
does right now.
He's like, so I can't activate my Deathrite Shaman because they're going to get Royal Assassin.
You got to give it to Stembo. He's got a great poker face. He didn't just fall out of his chair
He
laughing
didn't.
when he saw
No,
Royal Assassin.
he did not die. He's like, that is some black-bordered Royal Assassin.
And I think Brennan is trying very hard to prove to me why he wants Royal Assassin.
I think he does. I'm so glad that we got to see it, though.
So Brennan pondered, didn't shuffle, and didn't flip his Delver. He's cracking it in response to the trigger.
Interesting.
So he kept 3 that didn't involve spells.
Okay.
Maybe my thought is he wanted to draw the Leovold.
Right.
Probably thought that would put the game away, just like it did last game.
Well, I think Leovold is going to be powerful even in this matchup where he could be playing against Leovold.
I think seeing it from the last game, I think Leovold is that card you want to ponder for.
Yes.
If you were asking.
Yeah, that was probably actually the one Stempo wanted to ponder for, would have been the Leovold.
Yeah.
There it is.
Royal Assassin.
There it is.
How about that Deathrite Shaman?
Would you like to activate this, sir?
Stempo's responding. Let me find my answer.
Yes. His answer is going to be, I'm going to activate it right now because this is the last turn I'm going to be able to do it. Well, I technically could do it on his turn.
It's a game like this where if Brennan had the insight we have, like the deck list in front of us, I would say, man, if that was a Painful Truths, how good. That would be Treasure Cruise.
Yes.
And then we all know how dangerous that would
Treasure
be.
Cruise is a pretty good card.
It was a hell of a drug. Yes. I was in Grand Prix, New Jersey right before Treasure Cruise got banned.
Right.
And I had one game where I cast 6 Treasure Cruises thanks to 2 Stabcaster
Oh
rages.
my gosh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and my opponent was just like, all right, I'm at 20 and I'm still conceding and you don't have a threat on the table. And I'm like, all right.
How could you not find a threat in all? Oh, the Royal Assassin is dying.
Yep. So the discarding the land part there, I don't love. If there was a creature for Stempo to bring back, I certainly would have chose that option. But since there isn't, that's obviously your next best choice.
There's only so many modes the card is allowed to have.
Stempo's trying to weed him down. He's trying to
so
say...
we're still an unflipped Delver.
Yeah, if Stempo can get him down to very little, then he can pull ahead. And I feel like that's why the aggressive strategy is favored. I think that's why Brennan is going to be favored in Game 3. He probably won't stumble as much as he has this game, and he might be able to put pieces together better.
I mean, if he flipped his Delver 2 turns ago, there's a different game.
Yeah, but Stempo has had the answer the whole time, but he's had the luxury of not needing to do it.
Right.
Spending the time.
And we're looking at this a lot. Why are we looking at it that much? That's curious.
Well, he's curious about whether he should shuffle it away or not. So it's probably not about revealing it.
Yeah. It's, do I want to draw this?
Yep.
Well, do you, Joe Brennan? Did you want... Oh.
Doesn't want it.
So what's the even money on that it's Notion Thief?
If that were Notion Thief, he's 100% drawing it.
Yeah, I believe that. Maybe we'll find out. Maybe he's getting to the end. Maybe can
probably
we see? Can we
figuring out what one card pulls
it looked like it was a wasteland.
Here. Yeah. And as an aside, we see Sam Rukas walking up with his match slip. So
he most likely won.
3-0. So we're probably going to feature
the ladies know him as Uncle Ruckus. I don't know. No relation.
Ruckus?
Yeah, no relation. All right, so we draw for turn now.
So I'd like to see from Joe no more playing any lands.
Is this Leovold?
Painful Truth. He brought it in. Wow, and that's going to be very good here. Can't get Pyroblasted.
Well, the thing, too, I guess, from Joe Brennan's perspective, is if Stempo's playing a bigger 4-color, or, you know, even if it was a Sultai, obviously it's not a Sultai list, but, like, a bigger list like that, how does he keep up late game? And Painful Truth is certainly a way he can do that.
It is. It is. I don't mind seeing it at all, actually. We talked bad about it at first, but now I'm seeing it in practice.
Yeah, it seems pretty good in practice.
Yeah. I'd like to see him start using those wastelands to choke colors.
Right.
So in this case, I think I would try to hit the volcanic island.
Vault, cut him off.
Yeah, and then deal with the Deathrite.
Sure.
What did he just hit?
Volcanic, it looked like. No.
Underground.
Oh.
He's thinking cut black off and nix.
But he has 2 blacks.
Right? Yeah. Well, we know that Joe drew 2 wastelands, so he's thinking on his next turn, maybe.
Yeah.
I still don't love that.
No.
One of the nice things about this play, and the thing that I do like about it, is when you play a lot of wastelands and you're not targeting volcanics. Like 2 volcanics can't play a Leovold.
Right.
And I think that's something to consider moving forward. So Joe's in this, Stempo, I should say.
Yep.
He's in this awkward position of, I can't put this game away quick. So
Oh,
Brennan is
Murderous
getting this
cutting his-
opportunity to come back.
Right. We got a murderous cut now on the Deathrite Shaman.
I don't like this either.
No.
No, like you just let your Deathrites kind of bounce. I guess he's trying to put a clock on with his own Deathrite.
But the problem is Joe isn't Stempo isn't the aggressor.
Right.
So why is he taking the aggressive line?
But he's trying to be.
I mean, I know Brennan is the aggressor, and he just took the non-aggressive line by playing the Painful Truce.
Yes.
But that's just keeping him in the game versus Joe's in this game. He just needs to wait it out, draw cards, and eventually land a Jace and
also,
brainstorm it away.
Stempo knows that Brennan has a Marsh Casualties that can be kicked with just any land that's drawn.
Right.
So
All right.
there's not like a whole lot of ways that Brennan is just going to die to a Deathrite.
So we have an EE on 1.
And it looks like it's resolving.
Yep.
Jap foil, too. We might want to tell the judges down there to tell them to put it onto the screen better, though.
All right, so EE on 1, obviously, a whole lot better now that he doesn't have his own Deathrite Shaman.
Right. It's nice not to have to pay 5 mana for Marsh Casualties, and even to hold it in case we need to deal with a true name later. I don't like that Brennan cracked this on the main phase because Stempo only had a fetch land up. So if he just passes, Stempo cracks the fetch, and you respond and blow up the Deathrite. And now you don't take an activation, which
Correct.
is a frequent mistake players make. They don't crack their fetch in response to the E coming in. And then they pay for it when somebody like Brennan notices that they can just pass and then do it on Stempo's turn. And then if he wants to use it, he's getting the activation on his turn instead of the other turn, which is a disadvantage.
Yeah, it's the same sort of thing like casting your spells on upkeep, instant speed on their upkeep. So if they're fighting it, you're choking their turn.
Exactly. Like you're at 3, bolt you on your upkeep.
Correct.
It's like, oh, you're hard casting a force, now you can't play anything. I got a secondary advantage out of this.
You got it. And those are the little sorts of things that you really have to, take advantage of.
Yep. All right, we're attacking Underground Seas specifically now with Wastelands.
Okay. They're 1 for 1. Now, Joe Stempo does, in fact, have, I think, 4 Undergrounds.
So
yes,
what this did is Stempo can't Snapcaster and flashback a Brainstorm.
Yeah.
Because he's only got the 1 blue.
1 blue.
He could interestingly cast Leovold, though, off this combination of lands.
Yes.
1 more Wasteland, and Brennan might just be pretty solidly ahead. I think if he hits the Bayou now.
And we
and
have
chokes
another
off
blue
green.
source. So now we can Snapcaster Brainstorm.
Right. I think Wasteland is the best thing Brennan can get now.
Sure. Okay, so you get to see a very late Delver. We're not even commenting. Joe Brennan down to 8.
Yes. So this Snapcaster could go into Beats mode, but
it can.
We know Brennan has an answer, but he's not going to want to blow himself out 2 for 1 just to use it. But he probably will have to because he's so low.
Right. Yeah, you have to go, and you have to take care of it when you're at that life.
Yeah. That's what's interesting about these Delver mirrors sometimes. You're not afforded the time to wait and carry out a long, thoughtful plan. It's usually like, well, I better do this now or I'm just toast.
Right.
So it chooses the Brainstorm.
It does choose the Brainstorm.
The aggressive strategy. I like this too, actually.
I'm okay with this one.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when you consider that Stempo's.
That was a Liliana against an unflipped Delver. It's the last hope.
Never has a truer name.
He has a Pyroblast backup and a Leovold to follow it up. I think Stempo just won.
He might have.
Yeah.
He certainly. I like his position a whole lot more after that Brainstorm right now.
It was weird because as soon as Brennan cast the Painful Truce, I'm like, wow, he's in this.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, wow, he just lost again.
Well, I mean, if not for nothing else, this is a good back and forth.
Yes. Which you should get used to seeing playing Delver mirrors. I know. But
Oh, hold on. We have a
Brennan
reader.
has to read it.
We
He's
have a
not
reader.
a standard player, so Brennan is a Eternal only guy.
Yeah.
Last Hope seeing a lot of modern play too, actually.
Yeah, that's starting to become a card too, which is funny because with having the Liliana the Veil reprint now, you might actually have an affordable Liliana the Veil price again.
Well, the Last Hope I think is worth more now.
That's incredible. That's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
All right, and now we knew that we were going to see a Leovold.
Leovold with Pyroblast up. That is just Goodnight Irene, right?
Oh, well, there's no Pyroblast.
Oh, I thought he had a Pyroblast in his hand. Oh, he used it on the Brainstorm.
Oh, okay.
That's why. You turn your back for 1 minute, I tell you.
Yeah.
Murderous cut.
Yes.
So that doesn't even do anything. Liliana's out. It's going to come back next turn.
Seems pretty good.
Yeah, this is just the lock. Maybe he draws Abrupt Decay here. He has an out.
All right. He has an out, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Is he faking himself out? All right, no.
Well, that's a better chance. Of
3 more outs. 3 more shots at the out, I should say.
Land Painful Truths into a Wasteland.
And a Wasteland.
All right.
And he does have 3 colors.
I don't know why the think. I mean, you can't ever shuffle away Treasure Cruise.
You're telling me there's never been a point that you would shuffle away a Treasure Cruise?
I mean, I have 0 graveyard, and I'm on turn 1, maybe.
Okay, that seems good.
I mean, it could be a boat. And he drew a Spell Pierce. That's not going to be good here.
No, the Wasteland not as good as it was.
Oh, he didn't play the Wasteland.
Oh.
Oh, he just sees 5 mana, and he thinks Stempo has any option to him. I don't think he realizes that he could have taken him off green, and then no Leovold.
No Leovold.
Does he have a tropical? He does, but Bloodstained can't get tropical.
Nope.
Oh, he could have stopped Leovold. I hate when these mess up my predictions.
Well, I do.
Not even doing the Leovold.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think that might be wrong for Stempo also.
Well, if nothing else, I'm sure Joe Brennan, if he listens to the playback, will be definitely going with, oh, wow, I could have done that.
Yeah, he'll then know the error of his ways. He might be trying to climb it. I think that's a 6 and not a 1. Yep.
Oh, there it is.
And I think he's trying to go for the ultimate plan to put the game away. Which, if people don't know, it's -7, and at the end of your turn, you get 2 2/2 zombies, plus a 2/2 zombie for each 2/2 zombie you already control.
Yes, then
So,
just keeps on
multiplying,
coming.
yeah. Faster and faster.
I mean, against a strategy like, say, something like Miracles, it seems pretty good.
Yes. So I don't like that Brennan is taking away from his aggro plan so much to play all these card advantage things.
What did he play?
Library.
That's a library. Okay.
Yeah, again off the screen. Hopefully the floor judges will tell him to move it over a little bit.
Love library. It's such a great card. It's such a pain though on Moto.
Yeah, you know, it's a fun card. I don't think it's that good competitively, personally.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like the loss of playing it and the fact that it costs 2 and not 1 don't make up for the fact that it's a permanent that's hard to destroy, except for with Abrupt Decay, of course. And I'd much rather have something like Top.
Okay.
I like that Top replaces itself. I don't think you can
But,
afford
like,
to pay 4 life.
I was going to say,
times.
Top can't draw 3 cards in a turn, though.
Right, right. And now, well, he's trying to go for a green source with Bloodstained Mire, but he doesn't have one.
Yeah.
So
I don't think he's going to be...
He'll realize it with Deathrite Shaman that he can do it.
Oh,
Can't
no,
get Chop,
can't
sir.
get that one. Okay, I think he realized. All right, Joe Stemple looking around. Okay. Do you think Brennan now realized that's
attacking green is a plan for game 3? I
Yeah.
think so.
I think that'll help him a lot.
Well, it kind of reminds me of the old sideward plan for Delver Mirrors, where they would board in a life from the loam,
Yes.
and they would try for the Wasteland strategy.
Mm-hmm.
I have personally won a lot of games with Wasteland, your Underground Sea, and then Surgical it.
Yes.
Back when C was a 3 of or a 4 of inclusive, and things like that just put you way over the top. I've had games on camera where after Wastelanding C and Surgicaling it, I saw that they had 2 Trops and a Bayou left in their deck. And then this is a turn 1.
Oh, jeez.
Then I drew a single other Wasteland, and my opponent is just ready to concede.
Absolutely. All right, so we see Brennan here with an Abrupt Decay on...
Has to hit the death right. The clock is just too quick.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's literally cuts the clock in half.
Yep. Also, chokes him off a green, but Scalding Tarn can go get Trop now.
Yes.
So we're probably going to see the Leovold come back. You think he just should take Baleful Strix here? I think so. Or you can just kill him with Snapcaster. That's probably better too.
Seems pretty good too.
Yeah. Colligan's command, reading it to the
Yes.
player.
Let me show you that this kills you.
So team good guys.
Team good guy.
Stole one.
Still, yep,
But-
1-1.
But we're both on the dark side for this next game.
Yeah, it's
It's going to be hard to get an upset here, I think.
I mean, Brennan's exactly where he wants to be. Yeah, you know, starting off, he has the clock to start with. If he has the clock to start with.
Well, being on the play too,
Right.
so huge when you're running Daze and Death Ray Shaman.
Yes.
Play is like, I don't even know. Like, you might choose to start with 6 cards to steal the play.
Right. Oh yeah.
That's sacrificing 2 cards.
Right. No, I think if you had a choice with Delver, you'd probably do.
Oh yeah.
I mean, considering he bid 2 cards to play Flash Hulk.
Right. So he's no stranger to that proposition.
No, I think he would be ready to do that.
I think I'd like to see Brennan swap out his Notion Thief in the sideboard for another Leovold.
Nice. Or another Royal Assassin.
Yeah. No.
But then he needs another sweet Royal Assassin to put in.
Yeah, something.
So we should mention as well, since we're in between games here, Dex Protection.
Yes.
They are a sponsor for this Eternal Extravaganza. I remembered it this time.
Run by Tales of Adventure.
Yep. This is the 6th one. And fantastic event. Tons of EV. $20,000 worth of prizes
Cash.
today.
Cash prizes.
Yeah, that's insane.
And then there's a lot more awesome events tomorrow. You can Modern Masters 3 draft if you want. There's a 7K Modern.
Yes.
And a 7K Vintage.
Yes.
When do you ever get to play 7K Vintages? And it's literally the most fun format. I mean, yes, you're going to die on turn 1 a couple times.
A couple of times.
A couple of times.
A couple of times, yes. It's going to happen. But it's an awesome format, a whole lot of fun. So if you guys aren't in Baltimore but are in somewhere, whoa, we got a peek. We were just given the EE, putting the ponders in the.
So he did put EE in, huh?
No,
this is
taking
what he
them
took
out. Yeah.
It's interesting. He took out ponders.
Yes. And the forces.
Yeah.
Going super aggro.
I guess ponders are bad against Leovolds, so maybe if you're anticipating that, you're cutting back to avoid that scenario.
Yeah.
I don't know if I love that, though.
I don't know either.
Kind of need ponder.
He's just going aggressive. He's just going to crush it right out. But anyway, guys, so if you aren't here right now, there's plenty of time to get here for tomorrow. I strongly encourage it. Come on out, have some fun, meet some people, talk to Ely. Ely will be back tomorrow doing coverage as well, too. I will be off playing those vintage cards, having a lot of fun playing things that cost $0 that are worth thousands of dollars.
Do we get to announce our celebrity for tomorrow? Can we confirm that?
I haven't been told if we can say or not.
Your replacement.
My replacement, yes, yes.
He's still going to make me look like a supermodel. We can say that.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. You are still going to be the small guy tomorrow.
All right.
You have no choice. So that might give you guys some hints. I would say you could say a vintage aficionado.
Yes. A great choice to help co-announce a vintage tournament for sure.
Has played in Vintage Super League.
Yeah. Yeah, yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there are your hints.
We'll stop there. Maybe give them more hints throughout the day.
Maybe.
As they tune in.
Yes.
To this excellent run tournament.
Anything under $500 in Ely's case if you guess it right.
Oh, whoa. I don't know. Let's not go there.
Oh, okay. All right. Under $5, I'll pay for it. All right. So we're shuffled up and ready. Let's see if we're going to keep 7. This is definitely a matchup where I would want to keep 7.
Wow, the clock is at 40 seconds. They probably have a small
They have a
time
little
extension.
bit of time, yeah.
Yeah, but wasn't I telling you? They just go to time sometimes.
All right.
They're grindy.
That
last one was grindy.
That does not look like the most aggressive opener.
He's going to turn 1 Delver.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That looks like a lot of lands.
I think he's probably eager to get as many turns in as he can before the time gets called.
Absolutely. Hopefully they both are. Neither one of these guys want to be picking up a draw right now.
This is where the discipline of conceding when you know you're too far behind comes in, I think, very most importantly. You don't see it in the moment, you learn it now.
Sure. Well, I think Stempo, it didn't actually hurt him too much because he's playing for the draw now, maybe versus, losing.
I don't like that Brennan brought in Baleful Strix, and he doesn't seem to have a black source. This is going to be a problem.
So we see a Fatal Push?
Yes. And he's bothering with an unflipped Delver because Brennan didn't have a follow-up. The hardcast days.
Hardcast days. Gotta love it.
I do like that play actually a lot.
Well, yeah. Why would you want to give up, you know, the land drop.
The land drop, yeah. A lot of people just don't even.
Oh yeah,
don't even think like, hey, I can actually just play this card.
I mean, let's be fair. 95% or so times that Daze is cast, it's for picking up an island, right?
I mean, I've seen Daze cast. Opponent had single mana, and I've seen them spell pierce back Daze.
Nice. Well, look at that. It has built-in card advantage. I didn't realize that. All right, so Stempo went and grabbed the Tropical.
Oh, if this is a turn 2 Leo. Oh, nope.
Another Death Right.
So the double Death Right turn 2.
Wow. I'll tell you, Joe Brennan has definitely spent a lot of time on unflipped Delvers in this match.
Did draw Underground Sea, though. That's going to be what he needs to actually start playing out his hand.
Sure.
So he's probably not too upset that his Delver didn't flip because he got an Underground Sea.
He's upset. Who are you kidding? There's nothing more rewarding than a blind flip Delver.
Sure, yes.
So we saw a Fatal Push now on the Deathrite Shaman. And Stempos comes back.
Oh, there is Leovold in Stempo's hand. It's probably coming.
That's like that unhinged card?
Yeah.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
Lucy, I'm home. Doesn't want Volcanic Island.
Joe rethinking.
I think Volcanic Island is the right choice, though. Wants double black in case he draws Liliana, though.
Wow. He saw the power of it last game.
He did.
It made a whole lot of difference.
It was backbreaking.
Yes. I mean, he probably doesn't win that game without it.
No, I agree. One of the things I like to put together when I'm in Brennan's spot here is what lands is my opponent playing. Like, I saw him use a Bloodstained Mire. I saw this varied collection of duels. I think there's no way to fit in Wasteland, and I discount that and I stop playing around it.
Well, and you're in Game 3, you haven't seen a single Wasteland.
Yes, so. I see Tropical Island, I see Badlands. I start to think there's no way my opponent is running more than 2 Undergrounds or 2 Volcanics because he's playing these other ones. So
meanwhile, Stempo is running 4 Undergrounds.
Yes, but normally I think...
Oh, no, I'm with you.
Yeah, so I do not bring in that Wasteland Surgical idea package. So I would like to see Brennan attack the red sources, I think, normally during these games to pull ahead. But I think Team Good Guys is actually going to win this now.
Wow, Good Guys could be 2-0.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you would be 1-1 and I would be 0 for 2.
That'd be funny if we both lost.
We both
had
lost.
Losing records.
Yeah.
But we're playing against each other.
Oh, okay. We actually bet a whole lot of Monopoly money on this.
Yeah. I feel like that means like we're hitting ourselves.
Yes. Nice. All right, so Level getting into the action.
That old game we played with our siblings. Quit hitting yourself. Quit
Yeah.
hitting yourself.
Oh, I've definitely been there. Except that's usually with my children.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's so terrible. Why would you punch yourself so hard?
Your wife says, stop hitting children.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he fell asleep. It's okay. No, he's unconscious.
So children and youth, if you are listening.
We're just kidding.
That was Ely Cassis.
His address is...
Yeah. Social security number.
Oh, jeez.
All right, so we do have a Wasteland on Brennan's side.
Responding with...
Snapcaster.
Would be Abrupt Decay? No, Fatal Push.
On the push.
But what did we have leave? All we can do is target a Deathrite, which triggers Leovold.
Correct.
That's not a good place to be.
Yep, all right. Well, I mean, he did dodge the bullet there.
The bullet being a counter on top of that?
Yeah.
Hey,
listen.
I don't think Stempo should even use a counter there. I think you just protect Leo and just say,
yeah,
hey,
who
you
cares?
do whatever you want. I'm still getting this.
Yeah.
Like Stempo just revealed the Snapcaster now because he knows he's hurrying to beat the clock.
Right.
Time has been called, and he really doesn't want to get a draw here.
No, it's certainly not where you want to be. And it'd be amazing for him to pull it off being the less aggressive deck.
Right.
Yeah.
I am not a fan of slow playing, but I can see a lot of people in Brennan's position doing that here just to try to get a draw out of a loss.
Yes. But we haven't seen anything from
No, nothing that I would accuse anybody of, certainly. No. But there's been many people that have gotten bans from this game for doing that sort of activity.
I mean, heck, Saito.
Yeah,
Let me read that Jace for the 175th time at a GP.
Yeah, I don't like to call out people on stuff like that, but he was definitely doing that. Let me read your Jace the Mind Sculptor. I
Yeah,
don't know
like
what it
literally,
does.
that was the thing.
And he's playing it in his deck too.
Yeah, I mean, no, that was he was playing Merfolk, I believe.
He was, but with Jace the Mind Sculptor at the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
He was playing a blue blacklist, and he was splashing for Dismembers, I want to say.
I think that was pre-Dismember. It might have been like.
I thought it was like right after Dismember.
I don't know. I'm not gonna argue it.
Yeah, he was definitely splashing something black.
It was like Smothers or something.
Dark Confidant, maybe?
Maybe, could have been.
Yeah.
All right, so you're Stempo. You coming in?
Oh, something got misdirected. Was it a push? Wow, and Leopold left the table.
Oof.
Did Stempo not draw his card off that?
I don't know. We were too busy talking about reading Jason Mind Sculptors.
I feel like Stempo's hand is only 3 cards. I feel like he didn't draw. I think he missed
It
his trigger.
definitely looks like he has 3 cards.
And now 2? Is Brennan ahead?
Yeah.
How did Brennan pull ahead?
Misdirection will do it. I mean, even though he's given up another blue card.
That doesn't seem right. That Delver still hasn't flipped.
No.
What turn are we on?
Oh my gosh. Listen, he does not. He is a scientist. He has no interest in evolution, Ely. None whatsoever.
And the funny thing is,
do you ever watch The Fly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The funny thing, he's in this game.
It's insane.
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum is a favorite of mine, actually.
Okay. So yeah, he doesn't want to be Brindlefly. Okay,
Yeah.
he just wants to be a mild-mannered scientist. But I mean, Brennan also did take out his forces and take out his ponders, so he did take out a lot of the ways for Delver to flip. I mean, not that there aren't plenty of others, but
he's bringing in Painful Truths, which are still spells.
Sure.
Notion Thief, which is not.
Not.
Marsh Casualties, which is. And maybe
Notion Thief.
Maybe Flusterstorm, which is.
Notion Thief and Royal Assassin don't flip it, though.
So I guess EE, Royal Assassin, and Notion Thief are not that he might have.
Well, he took EE out.
Out. Okay. I hope he took Royal Assassin out. It's going to be real embarrassing if he draws that again here.
I hope he plays it. I'm just saying. All right, so we have an Angler.
Thank goodness.
Yes.
What's funny is if Stempo draws Diabolic Edict, it's not going to be good because there's a 1/1 Delver just waiting to be useful.
Just waiting. Yes.
It's like, please, sir, I want to do something.
He can put his science to good use.
Oh, Stempo just hit a good 3 off of a Ponder. What's funny though is he doesn't have a land. He does, but they're both fetches, so he can't play Leovold shuffling. No, he can with Deathrite. Okay, so he's got a good line here. Play Leovold off the 3. I don't know if I'd keep playing these lands.
Oh.
All right, Strixing into Leovold, and then play Leovold.
Play it.
No.
No.
Why not? Does he not have 2 more lands that can cast Leovold?
I'll tell you what, Ely. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go over there. We're going to grab Stempo. We're going to put him into the coverage booth. And you're going to go finish out this game for him.
I know, right? That happens to me more than I'd care to admit. That Delver still hasn't flipped.
Oh, my gosh.
And there's another one.
Oh, my gosh. It's a scientist convention is what that actually is.
Do you think you swing with Gurmag there?
I would.
I'd be for that Air Force to, like, get you home.
Absolutely. I would swing with it.
Oh, Cole against command. That is going to be so brutal.
Oof. Are we going to see Leovold? No.
No, he would rather Colgan's discard and kill one of the Delvers that flips with perfect information, too.
Let's see.
We did it. Oh, and is that a Murderous Cut? So now the Colgan's command's not as good, but he can do the Raised Dead ability.
Right.
So it still kind of is. But this is a tough turn for Stempo. That Strix is dead. All those creatures are attacking. Only one of those creatures is being answered by Stempo. We might see a Deathrite blocking a Snapcaster Mage here.
I don't think he has a whole lot of choice.
Yeah. If Stempo had more time and no creature in the yard, he could block with Deathrite on Snapcaster Mage and then wait for post-combat to Colgan's command, bring it back. Yeah. But that's probably not going to happen. He could bring back the Baleful Strix after it's killed.
Right.
And kill a Delver. I think I'd like to see that play.
Yeah. So are they in turns now? Yes, okay, they're in turns.
They are.
They're on turn 3. Oh.
Okay. So Brennan's not losing this game anymore.
No.
It's at worst a draw, and he's
I mean, you
gonna try
definitely have to
win it.
like his spot.
Yeah. I think Stempo can survive 2 combats. So I'm pretty sure this game is a draw.
So Stempo's playing for the draw, you think, at this point?
Well, I
then?
don't think he can play for the win at
Right.
16 with no actual aggression in his deck.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's probably the draw.
All right, so we see that. Team swings in. All right, we're going to 10.
And we're going to see the
So it's
Strix
just-
brought back. That Dyad 2, I think it's turn 2, not 3, but we're going to go into turn 3.
Okay. Joe's mana base seemed to have punished him a bit here and there
It did.
throughout this. Yeah.
What do you think about the ethicality of somebody like Joe? Let's say he has 2 more Gurmag Anglers and a Leovold and 2 more Flip Snap Delvers. About asking Stempo for the concession since 1 more turn and he would win.
I think he can ask for it, but I don't think he wants to press it at all.
Well, what do you think the ethicality is, though? Like, is Stempo in the wrong to say turn that down when he is?
I don't think he's
clearly-
wrong to turn it down. It certainly depends on what if they have any pre-existing relationship at all. I think all that matters as well too.
I've definitely seen people be outraged from both sides of it.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, you're clearly dead. You clearly should have conceded.
So we saw Snapcaster, Fatal Push, Hooligan's Command, bring him back. So he's getting a draw
Right,
card
so
out of it. I mean, Stempo is definitely playing to not lose,
Yes.
which is definitely different than playing to win. But if he's playing to not lose, he is not angling for giving a concession.
Yes.
If he was going to concede, he probably should have conceded 2 turns ago.
I agree. And
Yeah.
now I think Stempo's the one that could be the one asking for the concession. Because he
Sure.
is clearly ahead now.
Right. I've cleared off your board. So I don't know. I've bet on both sides of that. But I've never asked. I haven't asked too many times. There's been definitely 1 or 2 times where it's like when you're playing against a person who is slow playing the entire time.
Yes. That's especially awful.
That's when I would definitely be asking for. Oh,
Sylvan Library has followed Leovold twice now.
yes.
It's just reinforced what I said about the card not liking it, I think.
Things that I've learned today.
Draw.
All right. So we definitely saw Stempo show a Thoughtseize.
Yeah.
So how do we think that one ended?
That was a draw for sure.
All right, we are back.
Hello,
So,
everybody.
That was wow. Do you want to talk about back and forth?
Yeah.
So with that being a draw, do we neither of us win or lose?
Let's call it a draw for us.
Yeah.
So,
Team draw us.
101 here.
Oh.
I'm making you say it.
0-1-1 here.
Good guys.
Yeah.
We need like a shirt like the Reds and the Blues.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that was a good one though. That was certainly a great one to get on camera.
Yeah.
Even though we had just had Joe Stempo on previously, to have Joe Stempo and Brennan both there, it was great back and forth.
I'm not sure how everybody would appreciate watching those grindy Delver mirrors, but somebody that's played Delver for a long time like myself, I like seeing it. I like seeing the new card interactions and how they change the matchup. We had Fatal Push, we had Murderous Cut, Leovold, Painful Truce, all these new cards in the last couple of years that affect eternal formats, and I love seeing that. I remember when they printed Snapcaster, I was so excited. Treasure Cruise, so excited. All these things make it new and exciting, and I really hope we continue to see R&D developing stuff like that that helps eternal formats. And I know they're not doing it for us, but I
Right.
kind of like to think that maybe there's some unconscious or subconscious.
There has to be 1 or 2 guys there that are like,
Yeah.
you know, it'd be really good, you know.
Yes.
But like that's actually when they developed Abrupt Decay. They said that was specifically because of Counterbalance. So there are people there that do think about eternal formats at least a bit. Obviously, it had a lot more versatility than just eternal formats, but that is something that has come out there and been said that
Well,
you
it's
know that's
funny
why
to
that
me
came
that
about.
that's the route that they would take. Like, I've often thought that they were going to ban a piece of Counterbalance top. Top takes games to be way too long. People end up drawing or just not even finishing a single game because they can spend so long deliberating tops. And there's so many little intricacies to it too.
Right.
Do you do the look and put that on the stack, draw and response, or the opposite? How do you stack it and what do you do? I've had situations where the right play was pay 1 to look, in response activate draw, in response activate look.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Sure.
Because of what they're playing and what they could conceivably play around how you sequence it.
Well, I mean, I played it in mud. I played top in mud with Voltaic key.
Oh, so
So
good.
it was like, all right, we're going to tap, we're going to untap it, we're going to tap it, we're going to activate. It was like, and there were so many times where I'm like, I know I can draw 3 cards this turn. How exactly do I want to draw those 3 cards? How many times do I want to look at that? Is it worth paying 2 life to look multiple times? But, you know, things like that.
Here's a fun one. If you go into the archives of Star Cities, you'll find a top 16 deck list for me of a Control Esper build in Legacy where you would Trinket Mage for Dreadnought, stifle the Dreadnought ability, and it ran 1 top to Trinket Mage for, and it ran 1 Voltaic key to ticket for.
Nice.
And not only could you untap top to get card advantage with it, but you could untap Dreadnought to block.
Yes, yes. You had a Vigilant Phyrexian Dreadnought. Yeah, I played some Stifle Knot, I don't know, maybe about 3 years ago on some of the Star Cities, and it was already terrible because of Abrupt Decay, but I just really loved playing Standstill.
Yeah,
and
Standstill's one of my favorite cards.
Love that card.
Yeah.
I really wanted to play it tomorrow in Vintage.
Yeah.
But that blue-white list, it was just so, like, there's just so many ways that you just lose flat out with that deck with the blue-white Standstill list. I think it's really, really good, and the games that you're really in.
I'd love to see better, newer manlands. Like, I love the fact that they're bringing back the idea of manlands. I want to see ones that are good enough to make, like, Eternal formats great again, and possibly see a reemergence of Standstill.
So you need Wizards to be like a Donald Trump and like
Yes.
they need to make manlands great again. Well, there you go, folks. If you have something you want to screen cap, it's Ely being the Donald Trump of manlands and making them great again.
Well, before there was Miracles, there was Landstill, and that was the blue-white control.
Well, before there was Miracles, there was just Counterbalance. There was like a plethora of Counterbalance decks, and then before that there was Landstill.
Yes. So it was a long time ago now. I will give you that.
It was during that, like, the Flash Hulk, like, that era was 4-color Landstill. That was
Yeah.
something that existed back
Splash
then.
Black for Vindicate at one point, because that was the new tech.
Oh, gosh. Vindicate, the new tech, folks. Again, you heard it here first. You know, that card that got reprinted in Eternal Masters, you know. Not exactly a brand new card. It was Apocalypse. Yeah.
Yeah. Old. I remember pre-release drafting Mirage, you know, and just having like the best time in New York City. Having
Well, you were saying too that you've been playing since 1993, right?
Yeah.
So that means you also remember not drafting.
Yes, I do. Draft wasn't a thing.
Draft was not a thing for a long time.
Somebody came to our local shop and taught us how to draft, and it was like, whoa, what is this whole new world being introduced to us? I remember when they announced that they were creating Type 2 standard, and when they did it, I was like, no.
Yeah, there's so many
power.
Well, right, you wanted to play everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, because before that it was you played everything.
People were split. They were like, you had cards and you wanted to play Vintage, or you didn't own the cards and you wanted to play Standard.
Well, it wasn't even Vintage then. So Type 2 became, and there was one Type 1.
Well, there wasn't even Type 1. It was just Magic.
Magic. Right.
was
But you're
Type
saying
2.
like people that wanted to play Vintage, you know, like there wasn't even Vintage then. Even when they invented Type 2, it was Type 1, Type 2, 1.5.
Yeah. You know, interestingly enough, my favorite type? Type 4. You ever played Type 4?
No.
So this is a fun, casual thing that came about for a while where you took giant stacks of really overcosted Magic cards.
Okay.
And you had infinite mana.
Was that Paul Mastriano or something like that? Didn't he come up with that?
I don't know who was the creator of it. Carl Witter was one of our vintage champs back in the day, by the way. Is the one that showed it to me. And we just had such a great time with it.